Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to Oops My English, the podcast that makes learning English easy and enjoyable. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo. Thanks for being here. We've got a really practical and hopefully inspiring episode for you today.
So, Leo, I get asked one question more than any other. Can you guess what it is?
How do I sound more fluent?
Exactly. Everyone wants to know the secret. How can I sound fluent faster? What's the quickest way to improve? I've been studying for years, but I still sound like a learner.
It's such a common frustration. You know the grammar, you know the vocabulary, but when you open your mouth, something feels off. You don't sound natural.
And here's the thing. Fluency isn't about knowing more words or more grammar rules. It's about something else entirely. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
We're going to share our best tips for sounding more fluent. Things you can literally start doing today. No expensive courses, no magic tricks. Just practical strategies that actually work.
And we're going to be honest about what fluency really means, because I think a lot of learners have the wrong idea about it.
Before we dive in, quick reminder, if you enjoy learning with us, please subscribe. Give this episode a thumbs up and share it with a friend who's learning English.
Especially if they're frustrated with their progress, this episode might be exactly what they need to hear.
Okay, Mia, let's start with the big question. What does fluency actually mean?
This is so important. Most people think fluency means speaking perfectly, no mistakes, no hesitation, sounding exactly like a native speaker. But that's not what fluency means at all.
So what does it mean?
Fluency means being able to communicate smoothly and easily. It's about flow. A fluent speaker can express their ideas without constant stopping and starting. They can keep a conversation going. They can respond naturally.
So you can be fluent and still make mistakes?
Absolutely. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. They say and they forget words, they start sentences and change direction halfway through. Fluency isn't perfection.
That's such an important point. Learners often freeze because they're trying to be perfect. They're so focused on not making mistakes that they can't actually communicate.
Exactly. And here's something that might surprise you. Accuracy and fluency are different skills. Accuracy is about being correct. Fluency is about being smooth. You need both, but many learners focus too much on accuracy and not enough on fluency.
So how do you develop fluency specifically?
That's what this episode is all about. Let's go through our top tips.
Tip number 1, and this is probably the most important one.
Stop translating in your head.
This is huge. So many learners think in their native language and then translate into English. This slows you down enormously and often produces unnatural sentences.
When you translate, you're doing double work. You think the idea, put it into your language, then convert it to English. By the time you've done all that, the conversation has moved on.
So what should you do instead?
Think in English. I know that sounds difficult, but it's something you can practice. Start small. When you're alone, narrate your life in English. I'm making coffee. The water is boiling. Where did I put my cup?
Narrate means to describe what's happening, like a narrator in a film. Narrate your daily activities in English.
It feels silly at first, but it trains your brain to produce English directly without going through your native language.
Another technique is to label things in English. When you see a tree, think tree, not the word in your language, and then tree, just tree.
Eventually, English becomes automatic. You stop translating and start thinking.
His is genuinely the biggest shift you can make. Once you think in English, everything speeds up.
Tip number 2, learn phrases, not just words.
This is something we talk about a lot, but it's worth repeating. Native speakers don't build sentences word by word. They use chunks, phrases and expressions that go together naturally.
Chunks are groups of words that native speakers use together automatically. By the way, to be honest, I couldn't agree more. That makes sense? The thing is,
When you learn chunks, you don't have to construct sentences from scratch. You already have ready-made pieces that you can combine.
think of it like cooking. You could measure every ingredient individually, or you could use pre-made sauces and mixes. Chunks are like the pre-made sauces of language.
So instead of learning the word honest and then figuring out how to use it, learn to be honest as a complete unit. Instead of learning way, learn by the way.
Here are some chunks that will instantly make you sound more fluent.
The thing is, use this to introduce an explanation or a slight problem. The thing is, I'm not sure I can come tonight.
To be honest, use this before sharing a truthful opinion, especially one that might be surprising. To be honest, I didn't really enjoy the film.
I mean, use this to clarify or add to what you just said. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either.
You know what I mean? Use this to check if the other person understands you. It's like when you're tired but you can't sleep. You know what I mean?
Basically, use this to simplify or summarize. Basically, we need to start over.
Kind of, or sort of. Use these to soften what you're saying or show uncertainty. I'm kind of tired. It's sort of like a game.
Actually, use this to correct something or add surprising information. Actually, I've already seen that film.
Apparently, use this for information you've heard but aren't certain about. Apparently, they're closing that restaurant.
Honestly, similar to be honest, this adds emphasis to your sincerity. Honestly, I have no idea what happened.
At the end of the day, you have to do what makes you happy.
If you learn just these 10 chunks and use them naturally, you'll already sound much more fluent.
Tip number 3, use filler words. Yes, really.
This might sound strange because teachers often tell you to avoid filler words. But actually, using them correctly makes you sound more natural, not less.
Filler words are sounds or words that fill pauses while you think. In English, the most common ones are well, like, you know, so, and I mean.
Native speakers use these constantly. If you never use them, your speech sounds robotic and unnatural.
Robotic means like a robot, mechanical and stiff. His speech was too robotic.
The key is using them appropriately, not in every sentence, but naturally when you need a moment to think.
Instead of stopping completely and going silent when you need to think, use a filler. So, I think the problem is, or, well, I'm not sure, but...
Compare these two responses to a question. First, the answer is 5. Second, let me think. So the answer should be 5, I think?
The second one sounds much more natural, right? The fillers show that you're thinking, which is completely normal.
Here are some fillers and how to use them.
Well is great for starting a response, especially when you need time to think or when the answer is complicated. Well, it depends on the situation.
So is useful for introducing an explanation or result. So what happened was...
I mean, helps you clarify or rephrase. I liked it. I mean, parts of it were good.
You know, creates connection with the listener and fills a pause. It was, you know, one of those days.
Like, is very common in casual speech, especially among younger speakers. It was like super crowded.
Let me think, or let me see. Buys you time openly. It's honest and natural. Let me think. I believe it was Tuesday.
Don't overuse fillers. That can sound unprofessional. But using them moderately makes your speech flow naturally.
Tip number 4. Speak more. Study less.
This might be controversial, but hear me out. Many learners spend years studying English. grammar books, vocabulary apps, online courses, but they rarely actually speak.
Speaking is a skill, like playing guitar or riding a bike. You can't learn it just by reading about it. You have to do it.
If you want to sound fluent, you need to practice speaking. There's no way around it. You could know everything about English grammar and still struggle to have a simple conversation.
So how do you get speaking practice?
There are so many options now. Language exchange apps where you can talk with native speakers for free, online tutors who are surprisingly affordable, conversation groups in your city, even talking to yourself.
Talking to yourself is actually brilliant practice. You can do it anywhere, anytime, and nobody judges your mistakes.
I recommend at least 15 minutes of speaking practice every day, even if it's just narrating your activities or having imaginary conversations.
If you can find a speaking partner or tutor, even better. Regular conversation with a real person is the fastest way to improve.
Tip number 5. Embrace mistakes.
Embrace means to accept and welcome something, even if it's difficult. Embrace your mistakes.
This is a mindset shift that changes everything. Mistakes aren't failures, they're essential parts of learning.
Every fluent speaker you've ever met made thousands of mistakes on their journey. Thousands. They said embarrassing things, got confused, used wrong words. That's how they learned.
If you're so afraid of mistakes that you don't speak, you'll never improve. It's a trap.
A trap is something that catches you and won't let you escape. Fear of mistakes is a trap that stops people from progressing.
I tell learners this. Try to make at least 5 mistakes today. Seriously. Go out and make mistakes. That means you're trying, you're taking risks, you're actually using the language.
And when you make a mistake and someone corrects you, or you realize it yourself, that's when learning happens. That mistake is now burned into your memory.
Burned into your memory means you won't forget it. Making mistakes creates strong memories.
Perfectionists struggle the most with language learning because they won't let themselves be imperfect. But imperfection is the path to improvement.
Tip number 6. Copy native speakers.
This is called shadowing or mimicking, and it's incredibly effective for pronunciation and rhythm.
Shadowing means listening to native speakers and repeating exactly what they say, trying to copy their rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation.
Intonation is the rise and fall of your voice, the music of speech. English has specific patterns that might be different from your native language.
Here's how to do it. Find a podcast, a YouTube video, or a TV show in English. Listen to a short clip, maybe 10 or 20 seconds. Then pause and repeat what they said, trying to sound exactly like them.
Don't just repeat the words. Copy everything. The speed, the pauses, the emphasis, the emotion.
Emphasis means stress, giving more importance to certain words. Copy the emphasis on important words.
This trains your mouth and your ears at the same time. You're learning how English actually sounds, not just how it looks on paper.
You can even do this with our podcast. Pause after we say something and try to repeat it exactly the same way.
Many successful language learners swear by shadowing. It's free, you can do it alone, and the results are amazing.
Swear by means to have complete trust in something. She swears by this learning method.
Tip number 7. Focus on the most common words.
This is about efficiency. The most common 1,000 words in English cover about 85% of everyday conversation. The most common 3,000 words cover about 95%.
That means you don't need a massive vocabulary to sound fluent. You need a strong, flexible vocabulary of common words.
Flexible means adaptable, able to be used in many different ways. Focus on building a flexible vocabulary.
Many learners waste time memorizing obscure words they'll never use. Words like pulchritude or defenestrate. Fun to know, but not useful.
Obscure means not well known. rare. Don't waste time on obscure vocabulary.
Instead, master the common words deeply. Learn their different meanings, their collocations, the phrases they appear in.
Collocations are words that naturally go together. Heavy rain, not strong rain. Make a decision, not do a decision. Learning collocations makes your speech natural.
Take a word like get. It's simple, but it has so many uses. Get home, get tired, get the idea, get along, get over, get away. Mastering get is more valuable than learning 10 rare words.
Tip number 8. Don't aim for a native accent.
This might surprise people, but trying to sound exactly like a native speaker is often a waste of energy.
Here's why. First, which native accent? British, American, Australian? They're all different. There's no single correct accent.
Second, your accent is part of your identity. Many successful English speakers, business leaders, politicians, celebrities have accents. It doesn't stop them from being fluent or respected.
Third, clarity matters more than accent. If people can understand you easily, you're doing great. You don't need to sound British to be understood.
Clarity means being easy to understand. Focus on clarity, not on sounding native.
Instead of chasing a native accent, focus on being clear. Pronounce sounds correctly, use proper word stress, and speak at a reasonable pace.
Word stress means which syllable you emphasize in a word. Photograph, not photograph. Getting word stress right makes a huge difference.
If you pronounce sounds clearly and stress words correctly, you'll be perfectly understandable, accent and all.
Tip number 9. Listen more than you think you need to.
Input is just as important as output. Input means what goes in, reading and listening. Output means what comes out, speaking and writing.
Many learners focus so much on speaking that they forget to feed their brains with good input.
Feed your brain is a nice expression. It means to give your brain material to learn from. Listening to podcasts feeds your brain with natural English.
The more English you hear, the more patterns your brain absorbs unconsciously. You start to know what sounds right, even if you can't explain why.
Unconsciously means without being aware of it, automatically. Your brain learns patterns unconsciously.
This is why people who live in English-speaking countries often improve faster. They're surrounded by English constantly.
But you can create that environment anywhere. Podcasts, music, films, TV shows, YouTube videos, audiobooks. Fill your life with English sounds.
Passive listening helps too, having English on in the background while you do other things. It's not as effective as active listening, but it still exposes your brain to the language.
Passive means receiving without active effort. Active means paying full attention. Do both passive and active listening.
Tip number 10. Be patient but persistent.
This is the last tip, but maybe the most important mindset advice.
Fluency doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a month. It's a gradual process that takes time and consistent effort.
Gradual means happening slowly over time. Progress is gradual, not sudden.
Consistent means doing something regularly, not just occasionally. Consistent practice beats occasional intense study.
Many learners give up because they don't see fast results. But language learning is like fitness. You don't see muscles after one workout. You see them after months of regular exercise.
The people who become fluent aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who kept going when it felt hard, when progress seemed slow, when they wanted to quit.
Persistence is continuing despite difficulties. Persistence is the key to fluency.
So be kind to yourself. Celebrate small wins and keep going.
Let's summarize our 10 tips for sounding more fluent.
Number 1. Stop translating in your head. Think in English directly.
Number 2. Learn phrases in chunks, not just individual words.
Number 3. Use filler words naturally to sound more native.
Number 4. Speak more and study less. Practice is everything.
Number 5. Embrace mistakes. They're how you learn.
Number 6. Copy native speakers through shadowing.
Number 7. Focus on the most common words and master them deeply.
Number 8. Don't obsess over having a native accent. Clarity is more important.
Number 9. Listen to English as much as possible.
Number 10. Be patient and persistent. Fluency takes time.
If you do even half of these things consistently, you'll see huge improvement.
Now, listeners, here's your challenge for today. Not a question, a challenge. Pick one tip from this episode and start doing it today. Just one. Maybe you'll narrate your walk home in English. Maybe you'll learn 5 new chunks. Maybe you'll find a speaking partner.
The key word is today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today.
Progress comes from action, not from planning to take action.
And once you've started one habit, add another and another. Slowly build fluency into your daily life.
We believe in you. You're already doing something right by listening to this podcast.
If this episode motivated you, and we hope it did, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. You didn't waste it. You invested it in yourself.
We're proud of you for being here and learning with us.
This was Oops My English with Mia and Leo.
Until next time, keep learning, keep speaking, and remember, fluency is a journey, not a destination.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care. See you in the next episode.